Hey, so today we're going to be installing a power steering ECU on a third generation Rav4. Basically, I'm doing a swap. The third gen, came in three models: base, limited, and sport. This one is from a sport model, but the limited and the base share the same power steering ECU. The only one that's different is the sport model. Sport model, makes it sportier to drive. You do need to match up your whether you're in the middle going down or the middle going up of the generation, meaning excuse me, if you're 2009 and up, you need to buy a 2009 up ECU. If you're 2008 and below, you got to match it with a 2008 below ECU. The part number is not like your ECU, which you need to match up the number. This is just a one-off ECU, so they, whether you drive a pre 2009 or 2009 and above, the part number stays the same. Okay, you gotta make sure it's the sport model. It'll say LSP Sport. The other ones you'll see, it won't have the sport on it. All right, so I'll show you. So here we are in the car. So the excuse me, the ECU is connected right behind the cluster. So we're gonna remove the cluster, and you'll see it right behind. It's a little tricky to get into, but you'll see it once it's off. So here we are. You guys can see the cluster's been removed. See it there, and you have access to the ECU. You'll see it is right here. So there's a bolt right there, and another one towards the back. Kind of hard to point it to. It's just a bracket, pretty much two that hold the ECU in place. You're gonna pull it out, take the plugs off, plug it in, and you're good to go. So now, right before you go into the next step, after removing everything, is you're gonna want to disconnect the battery, just in case you don't want to get any codes or have any shorts or anything like that. Okay, so now what I did is I just cut away some of this plastic here, give me access to that nut. Now the two nuts that I'm talking about, on fucking focus. Let's see. It's like right behind there, one, and then the other one's behind there. Kind of hard to see, so it's very hard to get to. You can possibly get it from underneath, but the easiest way is to attack these 8mm. You have three, 1, 2 back there, and number 3 right there. So you remove those and it comes out, then you can get to the bolts in the back and be done with that. Now to put it back, you could use the same process. It's just hard to squeeze in there, get your hand in there. What I recommend is once you take this out, removing the bracket, putting the bolts back in, and just using the top and the bottom bolt to hold it in place. That third one you really don't need, but if you want to try the reverse, which is putting the bracket in and getting these bolts in, it's up to you. It's very difficult but manageable, but it's easier for me just to remove that. Okay, so here we are with it removed. You can see the two bolts in the back that I mentioned. and part of the bracket. So here you can see the stock ECU from a limited. You can see where the bracket goes. So again, the easiest way is to remove these bolts here at the bottom, and this one. So first one is this one, gives you a little more access to lift this way, and to remove I believe it's 2 in the back and then 2 in the front. But again, you don't have to remove this one. Anyway, any questions, you could also just send me a message. I'll respond best as I can. Now you can see here, left-hand drive. This is the stock ECU, power steering ECU without the Sport. The Sport will say Sport, like that. Okay. Again, this is the part number for 2009 and up. Okay, so if you have 1008 and all the way up to 2006, which I believe was the first year of the third gen, you're gonna have to get that ECU. I don't have the part number, but you can easily Google it or go to toyotaparts.com, put the info on your car, and it'll give you the part number, and just match it with the Sport model. The reason being is that the plugs change. So as you can see here, the plugs here are the same, so it'll be a plug and play application. If I was to put this in a 2008 or and below, or 2009 and below, it most likely would not work, simply because the plugs don't plug in. All right, so I think this maybe switch harnesses. Now again, that's from my experience, recommending what you guys should do to make this easy process. The hardest part is just take your time taking the bolts out, and that last plug, which is like a, see if I can focus, like a swivel type, is going to be the hardest one to get. But again, take your time and you're good to go. All right guys, so that's it. So it's back in place. See where the bolts are back in. Now I didn't put that bolt back in there. It's very difficult. I really don't have time to do it. These 2 bolts, it's enough to hold it in place, nice and sturdy. But again, if you want to go ahead and take your time and do it, that's fine. You see how sturdy that is. It's not going anywhere. All right. Again, that's it. So this should make the steering like a Sport model. And again, just match your years to the ECU. All right, so hopefully this was informative. Don't forget to share, to subscribe, give the thumbs up, and if you have any questions, just hit me up. Thanks.